So just when you think it was all over successfully and everybody had a good time, after the event, you hear a comment which spoils a complete thing. The comment made, I'll reveal in a short while, but first let me give you the premise. You already know about this, Mark, by the way.
Probably, yeah.
This is the following is taken from an article I published on Facebook,
Mm.
which I thought was finished. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end until the comment was made. So here's the article. I'm going to read the article so that everyone knows where we're at. So it's not verbatim, but it's more or less. Good to know that all are back on terra firma and safe and sound after their 4-minute brush with lower space orbit. There are other ways to feel weightlessness, like a nice deep pool of water, but it didn't give the girls a chance to step on the scales without the aid of H2O while they were up there, so they could claim that what they were doing was faster and better than Ozempic. Jeff Bezos must have bagged a cool few million in the process, although there was some dead weight on board in the form of his girlfriend. So that seat must have been a commercial disaster. But come on, Jeff, she can't be that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one she was anyway of the group, because the press seemed to announce the tripulation as Katy Perry and the other five.
Oh.
It's like trying to name the three tenors. You name two of, and there's the other one.
Yeah.
Well, in Katy Perry's case, it was
Yeah.
Katy Perry and the others.
Yeah. Well.
And they'll be spitting feathers because in spite of paying all that money, the same amount of money, and being on the same flight, they hardly got a look in on the run up to before the launch. They weren't published in the papers or anything like that. In fact, some people flying on EasyJet going to Magaluf got more press headlines than what Katy Perry's uh,
Yeah.
headlines.
Yeah.
The other five could have got their names in major news headlines for less than what Bezos stuck in his back pocket. The rocket was fully automated, both going up and coming down. The owner of Blue Origin might have thought it better, as there wasn't a man on board to drive. It'd keep it all automatically. It does make sense, really. Just to be polemical. When they were up there was a fair amount of giggling and squealing. I was expecting a pillow fight to break out. They were having so much fun. I said, I think I watched too much of the Man Show back in the day.
I was gonna say, yes, yeah. So, don't know what your
Well, when you
viewing
hear a
was.
group of women giggling and squealing, there's normally a pillow fight. That's what I've
Yeah, yeah.
that's
A
what
sleep,
I've always dreamt about.
a sleepover. Yes, okay, yeah.
The ladies will have felt a little lighter when they came back to Earth, as their pockets were 20 million less heavy. It was estimated by some. That's a decent chunk of change for 4 minutes for a 4-minute thrill. Still, as long as they enjoyed themselves and returned sane and sine salva, no, I broke into Portuguese there. No
Yes,
harm done.
yeah,
Just a group of rich people mucking around. Now, I could have left it there, but that comment I promised you from earlier, post-flight interview, Katy Perry, she said, "I feel connected to that strong divine feminine." Really, really, Kate? Is that all it took is that all it took a 10-minute joyride when you just sat there, had to sit there and sense weightlessness during 4 of those minutes? Really? It's not like you did anything groundbreaking. Too late to be the first woman in space. It's too late to be the first woman in space by 62 years, as Valentina Tereshkova flew around the Earth 48 times in 1963, not kissing the lower echelons of low space orbit for 4 minutes. Or the 8 months or so that lady astronaut was in the space station. Uh, could you have reached out to your divine feminine, or would you be curled up in a fetal position crying for somebody for help if you were in that situation?
Yeah.
Look, I can get that the pop star went up in a rocket, and I can get for her it was awesome.
Yeah,
But for the
personally, yeah, good
viewer
luck
at
with that.
home, no.
Yeah.
But for the viewer at home who has so many female, who's seen so many female astronauts to choose from as their heroine, I'm not sure that you would be up there with the divine feminine. So next time you do something overwhelming, give it a day or two for the heart to get back to its regular beat before you say the wrong thing and spoil the whole damn thing. At the end of the day, it was an expensive fairground ride.
The showbiz
I
event. Yes.
I had a friend who posted on Facebook, and he said, I mentioned in the original article that I've only got enough to go on the Big Dipper at Blackpool, and he said if you go to Blackpool, there's another ride there that leaves you uh, about 4 seconds in the air without weight before you come back down. But of course, he didn't say, "I'm sure it'll be one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind."
Right.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
so Katy Perry, unfortunately, she spoiled the whole experience.
Well, yeah.
Especially if her friends, the other five, didn't feel the divine feminine.
Well, I didn't ever know there were. Well, I knew Jeff Bezos' um, girlfriend was because I remember at the inauguration. But other than that, I didn't really. I like
What?
space. Yeah,
What is her name?
I don't know her name. I said I just know
That's what they
about her.
always say. Well, that's what I said. In the press, it was Katy Perry and the other five.
Yeah, okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, team Katie. I mean, I'm not. I'll be quite honest. I didn't really pay much attention to the whole thing. It's a showbiz event.
Yeah,
I mean, to be quite honest, personally, yeah, as I said, Star Trek, William Shatner going up and coming back down again. He was
yeah,
very, how can I, expressive in a very positive way about it all.
yeah.
Um, People always criticize him for being human, from what I can tell. Yeah, he's a doubt. Well, okay, he tries to grab the limelight, but yeah, we can talk about actors and wanting to
Actors and
be.
singers and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's what they do. But yeah, I mean, that was more interesting to me because I know who the hell William Shatner is. Yeah, and yeah, he was a big part of my growing up. Probably, I wouldn't say an uncle or anything because obviously I got no connection with. Well, only that watched him on telly, and he was a great. To me, he's still the best captain of Star Trek. Yeah, he's still the best. Yeah, because he was human. Yeah, he was a chancer. He wasn't. Yeah, but anyway, get away from yeah that side of it. Okay, so these celebrities or whomever they are, they went up. They had a few minutes, which was is an enjoyable experience for them
yes,
probably.
of course. I'm all for that. Yep.
And I always sort of mean let's put it this way: they actually made enjoyable experiences, shape of the aircraft, and another sort of implement side by side, and it made me chuckle a bit. Um, yeah, okay, yeah. What's the other one? Yeah, the women went up, but they couldn't find a space big enough to park, so they had to come back down to earth again. All this sort of thing. Okay, we can get to the mouse show jokes quite
Yeah, yeah,
easily. Yeah,
yeah.
okay, fair enough. I'm pleased for the ladies concerned if it's what they wanted. Like I said, I don't know who they were. I looked at the picture. I saw a lot of makeup, possibly quite a bit of plastic involved. Um,
They, the ladies went up into lower space,
yeah.
but gravity dragged the fat asses back down.
Oh dear, yeah, no, not saying that, but
No, you could say it. I'm
yeah, I
saying
could say I
I
could.
I would never say it.
No, of course you wouldn't. No, yeah, I trust you. Yeah, discipline to
I'm
keep
quite a
it
noble
keep it
person, I
busy.
know.
Yes, yeah.
So.
I mean, it's great. It was fully automated. I mean, we know, SpaceX are bringing back spacecraft fully automated.
Like going on a fairground ride.
Yeah.
You pay your money, you sit there, and you're entertained. Done.
Well, that's it. I mean, apart from the one where they actually managed to cock it up and they've had two cars hitting each other the other week somewhere, and it's yeah, in the local fairground to me last summer. They actually had it where it could get stuck up the top, where a drop got stuck up at the top. Yeah, and they actually get in the high level platforms and all that. I'd pay to go on that ride because I used to do that kind of thing for a living. You know, having to step across platforms and things. Yeah, I'd be at home. Yeah, I I've actually got the qualification to drive the high level mobile platform. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'll just say, move out the way, mate. You know, I've got my money's worth here. Um, but yeah, it's a showbiz event. It was Jeff Bezos, who is part of the entertainment industry now. I'm surprised he didn't send a documentary crew up there with them, you know, or yeah, make a TV series out of it. Yeah,
Well,
film
I
the.
think you almost did. We put the cameras inside the capsule,
All right.
which I can't remember if the Captain Kirk one,
Yeah, when he's trying to
they
heat
had,
them. Yeah,
yeah, if they had the cameras live.
I don't
But
remember it.
when the ladies went up, the cameras weren't live.
Yeah,
They, but they recorded it, and
yeah.
when they came down, they started to play them.
Well,
Katy Perry, Katy Perry, she spent more time looking in the camera than what she did looking out the window.
Well, there's not a lot to see when you get up. Well, when there is, if you're interested. But yeah, look. There's one person Katy Perry is in. One thing Katy Perry is interested in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. So, okay. These are celebs. She was paid. She was probably paid to do a job. Yeah. To bring some publicity to the whole thing. I mean, let's be honest. He's losing out to SpaceX all the time. Yeah. Um, I mean, SpaceX actually do something. I mean, good God, they're even lifeboats in space now. SpaceX are, yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
or life.
International.
Well, yeah, really, yeah. I can imagine Elon Musk playing on that as well. But yeah,
They'll be sending people up there with the Thunderbird outfits on.
yeah. I mean, you're bringing back my childhood. I mean, I could talk about this podcast all day about
The,
Thunderbirds and
the, yeah,
Star
the
Trek and
fact
yeah.
that the ladies, instead of wearing an astronaut suit, were wearing cat suits, should tell
Of
us a lot.
course, it does. It does. Look, it's a publicity stunt, plain and simple. It's something that's already been done. It was a test flight again. It was a test flight they just made into a bit of a show. Um, I wasn't particularly interested. I still think the technology is incredible. Yeah, from an engineering point of view. Yeah. Um, yeah, the tech is still remarkable. It was a test flight that they made into something. Yeah, they got paid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Good luck to the ladies. I hope you enjoyed your experience.
Me too. Me too. I'm all for it, except for
Oh, well,
that little quote that Katie gave. It's like, uh,
no,
it's with the force of God. It's with the force, and it really was a bit over
yeah, well, yeah.
over the bit over the top a little
Well, of
bit.
course it was, but she's not exactly a grounded. When I say grounded person, yeah, she's a celebrity. Um, for me,
To me, she always seemed all right on American Idol.
yeah. I mean, she's paid to do so. She probably had a script prepared already by probably not by herself.
Possibility,
Yeah. Um, yeah,
publicist.
and they miss to us. Okay, we're middle-aged men. They've misplayed it. The idea of sending William Shatner up there was to get people like me interested in it. Yeah, yeah. Somebody, a captain, the real Captain Kirk, has actually been to space. Yeah, I found that remarkable. I mean, I read and watched things about him and everything else. You know, after I read more than I actually watched. I mean, yeah, just to watch. Yeah, some. It's sad to me actually. I remember as Captain Kirk, and to see him now, he's still active, and I respect him. I hope I'm like him at his age. Yeah. Um, yeah, Captain Kirk to me was a hero, you know. Okay, I was always in touch with him. He wasn't a real person, but yeah, real enough, you know. I watched things to be entertained, and yeah, that was entertaining. Um, this may be getting. I mean, the good thing is Katy Perry does something in space. It gets younger girls interested in space travel. They might actually go into space engineering or other things, aspects of it. And that could be the good side of it. Okay, I'm going to end like that, or not end like that. I can see that. Um, if she was given a script that maybe younger people relate to, yeah, this complete nonsense about this and that, the other, not, oh, it was a really great adventure. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I
That
think it,
that you should have left it at that,
yeah,
Mark. You
yeah,
left it at that. Had a real good time. Thank you very much. You know,
yeah,
I paid my money, had a good time,
yeah.
got back home, made a cup of tea.
To
There you are.
me, yeah, okay, we know, we do. I mean, to me, yeah, if I paid to go for money to space, I'm disappointed to come back to this show down here. You know, can we keep going? Can we keep going? Can we keep going? You know, let's not go back. You know, not just yet. Yeah, um, yeah. I mean, okay, it was a bit of fun. And that's it. The trouble is, yeah, it got so overacted. It's a bit of fun. If you just sent maybe some other celebs up there that we actually knew about, and they all had a bit of a good time, like you said, actually be careful. There could be some producers, certain producers in the US thinking, hmm, a female sleepover pillow fight in space. Could be an angle in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, you should claim the rights on that idea. You know, you should copyright it now and sort of, yeah.
Too late. The Man Show did it years ago in the I think in the 90s.
You know, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no doubt on there's a well, there was Flesh Gordon in space, not Flesh Gordon, Flesh Gordon in space, which um you could see when I was young how I could make that mistake. Flash Gordon and Flesh Gordon on a streaming, yeah. Or
Oh,
sorry, in a video shop in Blockbuster, yeah, you can make that mistake, yeah.
well,
But,
if you were to take your kids to the cinema,
actually,
I shouldn't take them to watch Flesh Gordon.
well, actually, to be quite honest, in the original film of Flash Gordon, there was a fight on a bed involving pillows between Dale Arden and Princess Aurora. Yeah, in the actual film Flash Gordon. Yeah, so that's just come to my mind, people. Steve has, yeah, brought up my childhood memories.